The sun has come out and it is so beautiful. I feel like we've been so starved for sunlight that whenever the sun does come out, it's like, so good. This morning I went out for a run, which I was very pleased with myself for, because last week I had great intentions and then didn't end up going out at all or doing any form of exercise. But that's all right. My goal for this week is to kind of gently but actively reinstate routines that I can kind of keep going. And the problem that I've been having with running, like I definitely could still do a workout after work when I get home, but with running, because I had drive for an hour to and from work, it's pretty much pitch black by the time I get home, and I'm not quite confident enough to go out in the dark by myself. But I was thinking that if I went for a run before I drove home, then it would be light still. So I think I'm going to try and do that this week, and there's a really lovely path that I can use. It's probably nicer than the run that I do in Byron. So I'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's a kind of little breakthrough for how I can keep running during winter. And yeah, what else was I going to say? My run this morning was really lovely. There were quite a lot of wallabies on the trail, and some that were quite clearly, like they weren't tiny, but they were quite young still. And one in particular, I didn't get a clip of it, but it was like really skinny still. Like he looked like he'd kind of just come out of his pouch. And yeah, it was very, very sweet. It was also very, very muddy. I went out the front door and literally within 10 meters of the house had stepped in a huge muddy puddle and got mud all through my toes. So I actually should need to go and put my trainers through the wash, otherwise they're going to be gross for tomorrow. We also did a lot of meal prep yesterday. So most of our dinners for the week are at least partially cooked, which will be really nice because then we'll have some more time in the evenings to do whatever, really, read, knit, work. Which will be really good. And then this weekend, the forecast is supposed to clear up, which I don't want to hang my hopes on that, but fingers crossed we get some nice weather. So I'd really like to organise some kind of outing that's a little bit more, I feel like if we organise something, then we will do it, even if the weather isn't ideal, but maybe a picnic or a hike or something like that, just something to kind of get out of the house, because we have ended up being quite housebound for the past few weekends because the weather's been so on and off. Yeah, so that's the plan. Do lots of activity during the week and have a lovely weekend. I'm just working, but I paused to make myself a cup of tea, and I'm embarrassed to admit this because I come from a family of tea purists, but I myself am not a tea purist at all. I like many a type of tea. And I was watching someone's video on YouTube the other day. It might actually have been Katie Spooks, can't remember. Anyway, she was talking about a whole load of dessert teas, or a range of dessert teas that Twinings has done. And then when I was at the supermarket yesterday, I saw that they had a caramel flavoured New York breakfast tea, which I bought, and it's quite literally black tea with caramel flavouring in it, but it's so good. It's like a little kind of sweet treat, but it's not sweet. It's just, well, I mean, you could put maybe honey or sugar in it and it would be even more dessert-like, but it's really nice as just like when you want something that's a bit more than a cup of tea, but not quite a snack. So I might see if I can find some more, because the ones that I saw, I think they only have one in the supermarket, so I might end up needing to buy them online. But there was like a biscuit one of some kind, or maybe it was shortbread or something, but they sounded really good. And I've been in a long slump of not really drinking very much tea, or not drinking black tea. I normally have a cup of vanilla rooibos after dinner. But I've just been kind of like exclusively drinking coffee, possibly because the weather's now a bit colder, but I've been really enjoying a few cups of tea throughout the day. It's quite a nice way to break up the workday as well. You can kind of be like, right, I'll work for another hour and then reward myself with a cup of caramel tea. I have stopped to have lunch. I'm having a very large bowl of salad that is partially left over from last night's dinner, but then I kind of topped it up a little bit. It's mixed lettuce with chickpeas and these little edamame beans, which are actually sold. You buy them in the international section and they're sold as like a dry snack, and they're just like roasted with a bit of salt on. I'm not even sure if they have any oil on them, but they make a really nice kind of crunchy little like crouton thing to go in like as a salad topping, and they're very high in protein. So a bit boring, but we'll see. Oh, I also put, I'm having a real jalapeno moment. So I chopped up a whole load of jalapenos to mix through, and I've been really enjoying this mixed lettuce. I feel like it's quite an easy way to just have like a big bag of lettuce in the fridge that you can grab handfuls of to throw on things. So I'm going to enjoy that now. It's almost done though.
It's very well done.
Thanks. It's a shame we can't get Fitch from knitting. This is turning into the vlog of shame. It's 4:30, and as you can see, it's so dark and it's pouring with rain. I carefully brought my little workout bag so that I could take myself off for a run after work. And I'm not going to run in this, it's awful. So I'm going to go home and maybe do Pilates once I'm there.
For reasons of both portability and government security, the sophisticated little computer lacked a printer. Switters read aloud that
I'm now going to not think about it and just go upstairs and do a workout. Though I'm slightly nervous that my Pilates like online trainer person that I use, I think my subscription might have expired. We shall see.
Specifically on the legs, or specifically on the arms, but we're going to be doing everything together. This hand down to our left foot, we're going to reach up with the left hand. We're going to reach that right hand.
As anticipated, oh God, I did a very, very little workout and my legs are a little bit wobbly going down the stairs. As anticipated, I feel very good about myself and very pleased that I did that. I feel like the first workout back after a little while is kind of like a bit more of a token gesture than actually kind of a workout, but just, you know, reminding yourself that that's the routine and kind of like re-establishing the habit more so than actually doing any work. I don't think, you probably can't hear that, but there's just been a huge crack of thunder. I did not mean this to become a weather channel for Byron, but that's fast what it's becoming. I've just driven to work. It was raining so heavily in points that in like a 90k zone, I was driving at 50 kilometers an hour. There's been thunder and lightning the whole way here, and the river, which I'm parked next to, is alarmingly high. Very, very, very dramatic. I now have to walk like 20 meters, maybe not even, to get into work, and I'm gonna be drenched by the time I walk in the door. You guys can't really see me at all, but I am going to a Pilates class actually, which is it's very late in the evening to be doing this kind of thing. I'm normally a morning exercise kind of person, but Sophie invited me to go to a friend of a friend's class because I need to sneeze. Oh! That was overwhelming. I still need to sneeze. I think the girl whose class it is learning to become a teacher. I'm not sure she's qualified yet, but this will be the first time that I have ever done reformer Pilates with an actual, sorry, that's probably awful for you, with a, what are they called? Not a chair, a bed. Anyway, I've got to go. Sorry, that was unnecessarily rushed. I've only ever done like mat Pilates before, or Pilates that's kind of just like a workout with like those micro movements. But my workout from yesterday, which genuinely, if I'm being honest, was under 20 minutes long, has left my legs feeling really sore. So I'm concerned that I'm going to be slightly crippled tomorrow. I'm also wearing, I tried to film a clip of it before, but I'm not sure that I actually managed to get any of myself in the camera. I'm wearing some leggings that I got from the op shop that are Lululemon leggings, and I bought them because they're Lululemon leggings and they were like $5, I think. But they don't have a size on them, but I suspect that they're a size small or extra small, and I am medium or a large, so they're very, very tight, and they're also 3/4 length, which is giving me flashbacks to when I was in high school. But I keep seeing people wearing them on Pinterest and they look cool, so I'm trying, but they're also my only clean leggings, so needs must. Anyway, I'm off to Sophie's house. So I've got fluff on my nose for my jumper, so I'm going to plait her hair before we go into the class. I'm also wearing a jumper that I knitted myself. So I'm really hoping that someone compliments me on it so I can say, oh, thank you, I made it myself, and then they can be impressed with me and I'll be pleased with myself. Started filming and realised I had a green moustache because I just had my greens powder, and then also choked on the greens powder and spent the entire clip coughing quite disruptively. But I slightly spaced out that I have this brand deal that I need to photograph before we go to New Zealand. It's this lovely Australian brand called Yanera, and they do some of their products are tallow based, which I won't use, but half of them aren't. They've also got this lovely design on the front, and I've just been talking with Sophie about doing a sunrise shoot, what goes in the next, maybe next weekend, maybe this weekend if we can find the time, but I think I'm gonna put my head down for an hour or so and do some studio shots with them, and then I'll kind of leave it for the rest of the weekend and return to it when we go to the beach. It's one of those things that, like, it is something that I want to do, but it's like slightly hanging over my head, and I kind of just want to do it so I can then not feel guilty about not doing enough for the rest of the weekend. So I think I packed all my photography stuff away last weekend, so I'm gonna have to get it all out again, set up the spare room and get going. All right, slight change of plan. I forgot that my cameras weren't charged because I had an event last Saturday, so I've put them onto charge, and I think that I need to kickstart my day, like actually leave the house and do something so that I start the energy of doing before I get into the studio. So I think I'm going to pop into town to go to the op shop. I might go to Global Ripple because I haven't been there for a while, and then I will go by the liquor store on the way home to get Duncan some beer, and then have lunch and do some photos. It's also the most stunning day, so I feel like even Like going to the op shop is still like an indoor activity, leaving the house is necessary. Was a reasonably successful op shop trip. I feel like I've not been to Global Ripple for maybe 2 or 3 weeks now, and the past few times that I went I found absolutely nothing and was a bit disheartened. They had a lot of quite new branded stuff, like the Arca skirts. They had a couple of other cotton pieces from that brand. Kukai, which is a brand I've bought from before. I don't actually think it's that like amazing, but some of their pieces, I think they tend to be a bit like floral and intense, but sometimes they're not so much. But kind of nothing actually looked that good except for the yellow, kind of butter yellow nude Lucy skirt, which I'm really pleased with. It feels really lovely when it's on. It kind of like moves across your skin really nicely. And then that black cardigan, it's quite long. That's the only thing I didn't like about it, but it's silk cashmere, so I couldn't not buy it. I figured I can like tuck it into my pants. And I got 2 balls of wool, which are a merino acrylic blend, but you know, never mind. And said hello to 2 dogs, which was the highlight because one of the dogs is in there all the time and must belong to one of the people that works there. And the other one was this hilarious little French bulldog that had little white moustache and eyebrows and was a rescue and apparently quite a diva, which was quite funny. Yeah, anyway, I feel like that was a lovely outing. I could now do with some lunch, and I need to go and do some photos. I wanted to show you the things that I got now I'm home in a better light. So this is the black cashmere cardigan. The brand is Kingston Grange, which I've not heard of before, but it's just like a simple, like super basic little black cardigan, but it's silk. Hang on, let me find it again. It's really lightweight, which is nice too. It's 55% bamboo, 40% silk, and 5% cashmere, so it's really, really soft. I'm quite pleased with that one. I also got this little skirt because I've been seeing lots of people wear skirts like this with the little lacy bit. I don't have one. I'm going to try and see how it fits in. Then I'm obsessed with this. I mean, this maybe isn't actually quite the blue that I'm obsessed with, but I really like this kind of like electric blue, so they're just a little pair of exercise shorts. And I think this and the cashmere is probably the best. This is a skirt from Nude Lucy. It is 100% recycled polyester, but it's really nice. I really like it, and I don't normally wear a lot of yellow because my skin has quite a lot of yellow undertone in it. So either I end up looking quite sallow or I look like I'm actually not wearing anything. But I think because this is not next to my face, I think it'll be fine. And then 2 balls of this Abbey Road Wool to be Wild, which is 52% merino and 48% acrylic. I think this might be the perfect quantity to make yet another hat. I'm now going to have lunch. I've got a little hankering for maybe an omelette. It's also such a beautiful sunny day outside, and even just like going outside to drive to the op shop and pick up a few bits, I always forget how remarkably different I feel when it's raining, and I think it happens gradually, so I don't really recognize that I'm kind of slowly slipping into a slightly altered state of being, and then the sun comes out and it just is life-changing. And it's so good. I'm really pleased. So I think I might even eat lunch in the garden, maybe. We'll see. Yummy. Look at that. Sorry, the plate's a bit dirty. Quite spicy. I put a whole bird's eye chili in, and they're really hit and miss at this time of year. Like sometimes they're so spicy and sometimes they're barely spicy at all. This one is good, but I wouldn't want it any spicier. Quite spicy. I have made myself a cup of that New York breakfast caramel tea, and I put some honey in it to try and bring out the kind of caramel flavour, which I think has worked quite nicely. It's a very nice kind of afternoon treat. I've started knitting this grey hat, which actually looks very blue on camera. I'm holding the very last of this Drops mohair with the Abbey Road merino acrylic that I just got from the op shop. I quite like this yarn. It's also on sale at Spotlight at the moment. I think normally the balls are 13 Australian dollars, and at the moment they're 40% off for 7 something. And I feel like they've got a lovely red colour and quite a nice blue colour. I feel like they'd be quite good for cardigan number 9, which I've never made for myself. I've made 3 times, I think, but given away. I've given one to my mum, one to my mother-in-law, and one to Tess, my sister. So we'll see what comes of that. I've just finished listening to Fierce Invalids Home from Hot Climates by Tom Robbins, and at first I thought that I wasn't going to love it, and I don't know if I think I kind of did. I didn't love it as much as I loved Jitterbug Perfume, but he just, even though it's a ridiculously crazy story, not crazy as in, it's just absurd, like it's really odd. The way that he just delights in language, and you can tell that he's so intelligent, and it's just like, it's a bit like interpretive dance. You're like, this is a bit weird if I think about it too much, but it's also kind of amazing. I feel like that's what his writing is like. And his, I really enjoy being in the worlds that he creates because they're so odd and alternative, and they're such a unique and refreshing way of viewing the world. And he also, I think I said this when I was talking about what was the last book of his that I just read? Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. That in that book, I didn't find the narrative or the storyline super, super compelling, but he comes out with like the most crazily fantastic one-liners or quotes, or just perfectly describes things with the most ridiculous metaphors that just make sense. You know how, have you ever seen those funny videos of people being like, Tuesday is yellow? I can't describe it, but like it is. That, it's kind of that level, his metaphor. It's like, that is so, there is no grounding for that making sense, but it does. Yes, I feel I've got a pleasant sense of irreverent peace about me after having finished that book. I'm not sure if I'm going to go straight into another one. I've actually started listening to, who's the guy in the wheelchair? Famous scientist in the wheelchair, made a movie about him called The Theory of Everything. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I started Stephen King? Definitely not Steven Spielberg. Stephen Hawking. I think Stephen King is a science fiction writer. Anyway, I started listening to Stephen Hawking's General Theory of Almost Everything. My word. Whatever his novel is. And it's quite interesting as well. But it's like, it's not, sorry, that's not a novel. I'm going to say novel. What would you call that book? just a book. But I think it might be not novel-ish enough to keep me entertained of an afternoon. I've not done any photos, and I've given up on the idea that I will, which is slightly bad behaviour, but sometimes when the enthusiasm's just there, the inspiration's not going to be there, and the creativity's not going to be there. So that's my excuse, and I've been knitting and listening. Duncan's still not home, because I think he's had a power outage at work. He's called me twice and asked if we have power, which we do. He hasn't. I guess I'm going to keep knitting. Oh, this one's a good one. Oh, it's quite deep. Do you think? Comfy? Super nice and soft, don't you think?
Deep?
It really pushes your eyebrows down. It is a bit deep.
You know how everyone says I look grumpy all the time?
Yeah.
I think this might make me look grumpy all the time.
It looks quite good. You look very Swedish.
So
Do you know how to get there? Don't you agree? No, we've not even used our small one, honey. Got something in your ear, have you? That's so lovely. Look at the... You always do this when we come to Spotlight, you lose your mind. What did you think of home in Alstonville?
I found it really stressful. It took me several goes just to get through the door.
Yeah. I think with things like that, it's stressful for you because you're so considerate of other people and you've actually just got to barge through and let them look after themselves.
I'm also quite large, so all of a sudden you're like...
Sorry, I'm taking up the whole shop. And Eltham Pub?
Dark, nice old school pub.
Yeah.
It's quite nice to get away from Byron and have
yeah.
real
it looked
experiences.
Like the little down the end of the road where we took drive. It looked like the park bit there was quite sweet. It's a very nice place to go for a little drive on a weekend. My arm's getting sore. I'm gonna get one strong arm.
The Hokos.
The Hokos yet.
I do need to start reading another book. I've finished my book. It's not a very good book.
What did you read?
League Charles.
Oh, bugger.